Hello, we're back to doing iris today, and if you're thinking, why doesn't she do something besides iris? It's because I am in the middle of a challenge to myself to do 50 drawings or paintings different from one another of iris, just to kind of see what happens and where it leads me creatively. And I am doing this because I have done it before, a similar challenge, and it has pushed me in directions I would not have thought I would go in, and it's just a really good way to practice and get creative. I learned this technique when I was at the University of Alaska, and I was studying with Joan Kimura, and at the beginning of every one of her classes, she would have you choose three objects that didn't have any particular, you didn't have any like real affection for or anything, just three random objects. And then we had to do 50 drawings or paintings of them before the semester was out. And I still remember that mine was a stapler, a padlock, and a pencil. And it was fun for about the first 5 drawings, and then it got a little tedious, but of course we had to keep going. And then at some point, after you'd done the sort of normal stuff, like the, watercolored it, oil painted it, used charcoal, drew it upside down, did a blind contour drawing, things like that, things that you do all the time. In order to keep going, you had to get pretty darn creative. And I still remember that I started to really have fun with this assignment and other subsequent assignments that I did with her like this, when somewhere around 30 or so, I got bored with all the normal ways to do this, and I started making those 3 objects do things on paper, like fly and eat one another, and just crazy stuff, and got really exploratory in how I was handling materials, and it got really exciting for me, and I got some final pieces out of that. I don't have any record of that, so you're just gonna have to trust me, because I didn't used to keep photos of everything like I do today, but I did end up with some pretty cool pieces on this little assignment. Now, I'm not particularly after cool pieces this time. I'm after the reward that I get from disciplining myself to follow a challenge. When I say I am going to do something like this, if I don't do it, it's really hard for me to believe next time I decide I want to do something that I'm actually going to make it to the end and do it. So I try as best as I can. I will abandon a project if it just makes no sense whatsoever and I'm wasting a lot of time and I have other things to do. I'm not going to abandon this one because I can already see that I'm getting more creative. I started out with, I think, just a pen drawing, and then a little ink wash, and then some watercolor, and I did pastels. I did, well, I'll look and I'll see, and I'll show you some of them here. And then I started to get a little bit more adventuresome, and I did some collage, and I just have finished this one almost. It started out as a pretty innocent, unplanned collage. And I was having so much fun. I got carried away. It's never happened before. I've never gotten carried away making art, really. Well, you know me. That's not true at all. It happens all the time. But I got carried away. I collaged. I used resin. I added beads. I put glitter on it. I used more resin. I was either going to throw it in the trash or hang it on a wall, and this one gets to live. All in all, I'm not getting more than just a lot of practice and getting a little braver in what I'm doing. So that's the explanation behind all the iris. And we are on, I think, 21, 22. So there are more iris to come. If you don't like iris, just don't click on these videos or pass them by and watch the other videos, because I do things besides paint iris. And after I finish these iris, I probably won't be painting iris for a long, long time. I took a frame and I took the glass out of it, and now I'm going to glue around these edges so that when I pour resin into it, it won't spill into the back of the frame, hopefully. And then I'm going to resin some real iris inside here, I think. We'll see what happens. All right, I think this arrangement will work because the sketchbook is not down in the glue and glitter, but it's flattening the iris, I hope. Okay, we're gonna let this dry for a bit. And then before the iris gets too dried and shriveled up, I'm gonna pour resin over it.